Hey everyone, welcome back to Pretending with Dice. As always, I'm your host AJ, and I'm joined once again by your games master for these Shadowrun episodes, Eden. How's it going?
Hello there. I'm pretty good. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. Last time we kind of talked about what sort of made you decide to sort of go with like a setting like this, but I figured this time we'd sort of see, now that we've met most of our sort of supporting cast of NPCs, like what was some of your kind of inspirations for kind of picking the archetypes that you did for that?
Well, in broad strokes, I was trying to come up with a setting that had like a sense of, I don't know, a community of sorts. As much as it was obviously broken and run down and what have you, there is a sense of connection between a lot of the characters, and they have their reasons for being there. And in particular, I wanted there to be kind of like an unusual bunch, because obviously this, given the opportunity to sort of let my mind go a bit wild and come up with whatever bizarre character I felt like, and this setting being as wild as it can be, I thought, why not? And in the moment, a few of these characters came to mind. Like, Vanda was not quite as fully formed. Like, she came out very fully formed out of my mouth as soon as, like, I was like, oh, I've got an idea in the moment. But as far as I was concerned, she was just kind of like a haughty brothel mistress kind of type. And that's as far as I'd gone. But then obviously that extra level of, well, everybody's heard at this point what Vanda is and what Selas's adventures were with her.
Yeah, I mean that's the way it goes sometimes. You'll just have like a one sentence kind of idea in your head of like, that's what this character's like. I mean, some of the ones that we've done on D&D are 100% like that. Like,
oh, for sure.
Some of them, you know, put a bit more work into like Vagan and that, because you know I had a full character sheet worked up for him because I knew he was going to be in battles with you guys and that. But like some of them is literally, I had an idea, and that was like, okay, maybe they run into a kind of portly, like, incompetent country cop, and that was all I had in my mind in that first story arc where you ran into like the sheriff guy, and then just based on, it's funny, it's interesting to see what comes out through the interactions. And it's good. I'm so pleased that you're getting to kind of find that out.
Absolutely, yeah. I found that opening my mouth and like, in particular, the accent that comes out, like sometimes that is a complete potluck, and like. I find myself suddenly realising, like, did I actually think about what this character's voice was? No, I didn't. Oh dear. Like, and then in the moment it's like, and here's what I'm capable of doing in this moment. And that informs the character so much. Obviously, this particular Shadowrun game is full of geezers, isn't it?
There's a lot of the hard-talking, hard-fighting dudes. Yeah,
that's it. But I feel like that sets the character a great deal. Like, as much as Sir Davos endorse it, like, I suppose with the way that I've had invoked EastEnders as being possibly in some people's minds like a tale of what the past was, perhaps that's where they all learn their accents. Like the Dorset accent's kind of dying out as it is, so perhaps that's like what it becomes, is everybody just becomes a bit kind of like a, I'm trying to think of the right term, is it Estuary London or something like that?
Yeah, I think that's it.
But
yeah, I mean, like you say, you never know really what you're going to do until you're playing as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. No, the challenge of flitting between characters and yourself and reacting quickly to people. Oh yeah, absolutely. I appreciate all the more what you do now, and yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed doing it. So yeah.
Okay then. So let's just recap what happened last time, and then we'll go into today's episode. Then I think.
Okay.
So last time we sort of started our last episode still in the club, the Giant Sin, didn't we? With Selas in Vanda's, what would you call it? Boudoir?
Boudoir? Yeah, I think that's the right term.
She read him a nice story, and before leaving, when she left, he managed to sort of hack into the computer systems of the club a little bit. Didn't really get a whole lot of important information out of them, would you say?
No, I mean, he got the holovids of all the characters.
I'm sure they'll come in handy for some purpose or another.
If nothing else, there'll be a memento.
Yeah. After that, Selas and Giles then kind of wandered around in the woods behind the club, sort of looking for an entrance way in the fence and that. And I think they were just doing a bit of sort of general scouting, weren't they?
That's it, and getting a sense of the routes in and out of the place, getting a little glance, a little downward slope out of the back area that may or not help them out, possibly. It might lead to something interesting.
And then they just kind of went back to the pub, didn't they? And
they got a little bit more information, sat down with the landlord for a little bit longer, gave him a little bit of an update on what they'd been doing, and had a little rest.
Yeah, and the following morning, they met Bonnie, didn't they? The woman they'd been hired to protect.
That's it. The entire reason they were there. She came in to help bury the barfly.
That's kind of where we left off. I think... Oh no, the very last thing was Giles had offered to give her one of his med packs, which was way more sophisticated than anything she had on hand.
Oh, speaking of Giles, we're forgetting the continuing texts. And the arranging of a date.
I can't believe we missed that. Yeah. Giles has arranged a date, which I'm not entirely sure at this point of his motivations behind it, with the club's resident, what would you call her? Bouncer slash admin slash...
Walking muscle?
Yeah. Pretty much, yeah.
The towering dasher.
Yeah.
And keep in mind that Giles is he's a short guy. Jason described him as walking short man syndrome. So
yeah.
I should give you a sense of the visuals of Dasher stood next to him and their unlikely love.
So yeah, that is pretty much where we left off, wasn't it?
Indeed.
Okay, so all right then, without further ado, we will get into today's episode.
Enjoy.
I'm going to hand her a medikit because I've got several on me. And will this help at all, darling?
She glances over for the first time properly in your direction and is taken aback ever so slightly at your appearance, but then sees the medikit in your hand. Her expression immediately softens a little bit, especially when her eyes shoot over to Selas, and she's kind of like, oh, this is, again, everybody that has seen the two of you stood together so far has given you this look of like, what the hell are these two doing together?
Yeah, I mean, I'm nearly a foot taller than him.
That's it. There's like a strange little and large kind of like, one of you slightly more refined looking, one of you slightly more thuggish looking. Like, this is an odd couple situation for sure.
Yeah. Still rugged.
She, really? You're going to just give me a medikit? You know how much these cost?
That's all right, darling. I do all right for myself.
And she takes it off of you readily and opens it up and starts pulling out the various bits and pieces, the high-end medical equipment that's far better than the very cheap kind of bandages and alcohol that she was using to swab at this man's arm, and sets to work undoing the bandages she's just done up and cleaning quite a lot better than she had been able to. As she's doing this, she's clearly warmed to you both a little bit and continues to talk and says, like, so what are you boys in town for?
Oh, just passing through, seeing the side out in the countryside. I'm so used to the city. I thought I'd get a bit of a change in the air might do me some good.
Both of you are here to do that. And she looks at Silas and like she can really believe it with you. And she looks.
I'm pretty pale.
Yeah, she looks over at Giles and says like, "You're here for the sightseeing?"
No, I just get bored.
All right, that makes more sense. Is this some kind of bodyguard situation? I've seen so many people come through this town, and like, I just don't get it.
It's yes, let's call that. Yes, it's something like that.
I do guard his body.
And okay. She kind of looks between the two of you as if like, all right, then I'm not going to ask any further questions, but whatever you guys get up to is your own business. And she thanks you again. Oh, thanks again for the med kit. I'll just finish up here. And she's managed to do the work quite a lot quicker now. I mean, she's applied a few of the antibacterial things that were in this kit. They've gone to work very fast, visibly removing like elements of infection from his arm. This being high tech and what have you. And she closes the wound back up, wraps it back up, and sort of smiles at you both and Tommy, and looks to Tommy and says, "I'll be back again tomorrow, Tommy." He goes, "And I'll be waiting for you, love." And she smiles and says, "Oh, you're too nice to me." He goes, "Oh, there's nobody that could be too nice to you." And then,
aren't you two quite the pair?
"Oh, well," and Tommy kind of like shoots you a look as if to say like,
Cut it out. You know?
Yeah, stop. Bonnie is in her 20s. Tommy is in his late 50s.
Well, this just took on a whole nother...
Just for clarity's sake here.
Okay, so... Actually, Bonnie, do you know what? I think you could help me with something. Do you mind if we go back to your clinic?
Oh, well,
She runs a clinic. It's natural to go back there.
You want to get something looked at?
slightly taken aback, Bonnie does sort of look at you and say, well, what do you need to go to the clinic for? Like, is there something I can help you with?
I've just got a shoulder that plays up occasionally, you know. It'd be good to get a professional look at it.
I can look at her shoulder here, and she kind of immediately starts walking towards you. Like,
I get all shy. I'd much rather it was somewhere else.
we can go up to your bedroom if you like.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
And Tommy shoots you a look as if to say, what the fuck do you think you're doing? And Tommy looks, as he's looking at you, and he says, what are you talking about? I saw you lifting all that luggage last night. I did like that shoulder can't be that bad.
That was my arm, you idiot.
He grits his teeth. Bonnie's still looking at you, completely oblivious on what's going on Tommy's face, but he's looking at you like staring daggers right now. Like, what the hell are you doing?
He's got to smile sweetly at him.
Okay.
Which is ridiculous from
Bonnie continues. She's caught up to you now. She's got an arm around your shoulder, and she says, "Okay, well, just lead the way." And you take her off towards the bedroom.
I'm gonna stay down here in the bar.
Okay.
I was relying on you to question her, but cool. Oh. No, it's fine. I'll go for
no,
it.
it'd just be weird if I went to...
Yeah, 100%.
Like, if she'd have said, fine, we'll go to the clinic, then I would have had a plausible excuse to come
But no, she wanted to take me to bed.
Okay, so, as they're heading off up the stairs, Tommy leans in towards Selas and whispers to him, "What the fuck is your friend doing?"
Oh, well, he's a bit of a... I think he just wants to get some more information. He's a little bit blunt when it comes to that kind of thing, and it'll be fine. It'll be fine in the end.
It better bloody well be.
I wouldn't worry about a thing. Trust me.
What's she even going to tell you? Like you know what the situation is. She's paying for medical supplies.
Well, maybe you can, I don't know, get a couple of details she hasn't told you.
She doesn't even know that Dieter owns her debt yet.
Yeah, but she knows she's got a debt.
Yeah, but like, if you tell her the wrong thing and give any indication, she's going to panic.
Well,
And he just...
let's hope that doesn't happen.
with that, Tommy realises that there's not really much he can say to you at this point, and like, there's nothing you can tell him about what's about to occur. He needs to kind of grit his teeth and wait. So unless there's something else you want to say or do, Tommy's going to sort of do the barman routine a little bit, mostly lean on the bar and kind of let time pass.
How about a drink, Tommy? We'll,
Another cranberry juice.
Oh, that'd be lovely, thank you.
He pours one out and
For his
slides it
homies.
over to you. He goes, I'm going to need to start charging for these.
Oh, well, how much for the cranberry juice, sir?
Okay, let's call it 5.
Oh, okay, there we go.
Right.
So with that, he's going to take 5 credits off you, bought the cranberry juice. And
I'm just in my head because I'm keeping it. So 200 for the taxi, 100 to get into the giant sin. He paid for my 50 quid bedtime story. So I'm currently at, I have 295 new yen to my name.
We'll see how much more you have to spend before the game is up. Okay, so we'll leave you back in the bar enjoying your cranberry juice.
Indeed.
And we'll go upstairs with Bonnie and Giles. So, you lead the way. Bonnie comes up the stairs behind you. And as you enter into the bedroom, Bonnie kind of looks around. Is there any? Have you left anything out? What's
My kit
visible in the
bag's there,
room?
but I've got my gun on me.
Okay.
So that's pretty much it. It's just
a bag,
Just got
basically.
clothes visible. Even if it's not even open.
Okay. So there's nothing incriminating, nothing that's immediately going to make her.
Just lines of drugs on a mirror.
So she walks in and you close the door, and she says, "Okay, take your jacket off. Let's have a look at this shoulder."
You don't mess around. Oh, I'm just joking. Take my jacket off. As I'm doing it. So, you look pretty surprised by the medikit I gave you. Who did you get your medical supplies off then?
Well, there's a number of people that come into town from time to time, and it's black market, so it's not the highest grade, and the cost is quite high because this isn't really a part of the country that people pay attention to anymore. I mean, it having gone through its boom and bust and what have you, So yes, black market for the most part. And I owed money previously to the man that was running the trading caravan, and his name was Miles. But he, unfortunately, well, I haven't seen him for some time.
Oh, that's unusual. So, if you owe money, you can't possibly make enough to actually pay these back then?
Well, hang on, were we not talking about your shoulder? And
No, look, I'll show you the shoulder in a second. I'm just worried about you, darling. You know, I like to try and do good where I can.
Let's have a persuasion check.
Yeah.
Roll for me.
What was it before? It was
So you had
I have 6.
6.
And
Because Bonnie is a
charming
lovely
fuck.
girl, she's got 5 charisma. So. And, okay, so you've got 4 hits, and Bonnie has 1. So you've completely persuaded her. Oh, Bonnie almost got a critical glitch. Oh, so that could have been interesting, but nope, didn't get that. So, having noted the medikit and kind of recognising your tone and a certain amount of authenticity that seems to be behind it, Bonnie is very much taken with what you've just said, and she opens up a little bit, and you can see the hint of a tear appearing in her eyes, and she says, "Well, I don't afford it. I don't really like to think about it that much, but I'm in quite a lot of debt at this point."
Oh, well, that doesn't sound good at all. Can I do anything to help at all?
I don't know what you can do. As I said, I haven't seen Miles for quite a long time, and, well, the debt's accruing. It's not like he was an individual working by himself. He's part of an operation, and I can only assume that the bell's going to toll at some point. I mean, I'm 20,000 down.
That's quite the debt. I tell you what, you let me see if I can do something about it. I'm not adverse to these kind of things. I'm pretty good with it.
She kind of looks at you with a certain amount of confusion and says, but you don't even know me. Well, like, why would you do this? And she takes a step back, slightly concerned that you're coming on very strong right now.
Because I get bored, I already said.
What's, like... I think we should go back to your friends.
I've already put my back jacket on and I'm heading towards the door.
And she's noted that she's not even touched your shoulder.
Yeah.
So we're heading back downstairs now.
Here's one for you, Tommy. What does a zombie vegetarian eat?
Oh, I don't know. What does a zombie vegetarian eat?
Grains. I thought you might like that one.
You know what? I was starting to get a bit sick of the sight of you and your cranberry juice, but that's all right. You know, you got any more of those?
Yes, quite a few more. What do you call someone with no body and no nose?
I don't know.
Nobody knows.
And Tommy kind of like immediately like guffaws in a way that's very unbecoming, and quite clearly like he just completely lost it over that, even though it was quite a low level joke. And he looks over to see Giles and Bonnie coming down the stairs, and he's wiping a tear from his eye going, "Oh my god, Bonnie, you should hear some of these jokes. He's hilarious."
Oh, is he on his jokes again? Jesus.
Oh, you know me. I get when I get nervous, I stop with the bad jokes.
What's your charisma?
It's not high.
What's your charisma?
My charisma. I got charisma 4.
Okay. I want you to roll to see if you're going to affect Barry with your jokes.
Totally. Okay.
Well, Barry, being a fairly broken alcoholic man, has a charisma of 2.
Okay.
So he's going to have to do very well to beat you here.
Well, I got 4. I might roll 4 ones. You never know.
Well, exactly. It
Okay.
could be a critical glitch.
Okay.
Right.
I got 1 hit.
1 hit.
And one. I rolled a 1, a 3, a 4, and a 5.
Okay. And we have no hits over here. So your joke lands with Barry, and his shoulders start coming up and down in
that one, did you, Barry?
far more movement than you'd have expected. And as this is happening, he starts coughing and spluttering in a very violent way, and Bonnie comes running over from the stairs and sort of rubs his back and grabs a handkerchief out of a pocket and holds it to his mouth. And when she brings the handkerchief back, there's blood on it.
Oh no. Oh.
And immediately the mood has kind of come back down again, and Tommy's like, Oh, bloody hell, I'm sorry, mate, I didn't...
I'm so sorry. I knew my jokes were
Oh, no,
bad.
it's not your fault. I kept asking for more jokes. I mean, they're so bloody good.
Yes. Well, thank you. But I feel really bad about this now.
And Bonnie kind of, like, taps Barry on the back and looks towards you and says, like, it's not your fault. He's on his last legs here. He's been here for like this for a very long time, and I'm just doing what I can. There's no saving Barry at this point.
Oh, no. But he seemed like such a nice fellow.
And
Talkative.
Barry has managed to take a sip of his beer to kind of like choke back like the coughing at this point, and he kind of goes and in reference to you saying that he's a nice guy. And Bonnie says he is. He used to be a far nicer man. You'd have liked him if you'd met him 10 years ago when I first got here, but it's all gone downhill from there, like a lot of other things around here. And she kind of looks down and then looks around and says, well, I can't stand around here all day with you guys. And then she looks over at Giles with the look of, I'm not sure if I want to be around you right now, and kind of rushes off.
I think that's how we all look at Giles. Just most of the time.
Too rugged.
She says, okay, Barry, I'll see you tomorrow. And as I said, Tommy, I'll see you tomorrow. And he this time he's not quite as sunny because of what's just happened. He says, okay, Bonnie, you get on your way. Have a good day, best you can. And she heads off out through the front door.
Oh, I feel rather bad about this. I'm sorry, Barry.
Barry lowers his head and then brings it back up very slowly.
Yeah.
As just an acknowledgement.
I'll keep my jokes to myself in future then.
Tommy looks at you again and he's like, you just don't have to tell them as loudly, mate. You can tell me.
Oh, do you want one more? Just on...
He looks at Barry and he sort of looks at you two and he sort of motions his head over to the other side of the bar. And
I'll walk around the bar.
He slides his elbow along the bar and sort of like perches down at the other end out of earshot of Barry. And he goes, go on. Let's hear it. I need a little bit of sunshine after that.
What did the buffalo say when his child left?
I don't know. What did the buffalo say?
Bye, son.
And he splutters and makes ridiculous noises as he tries to hold back a guffaw, desperately trying to make sure that Barry doesn't know that a hilarious thing just happened. And he sort of looks at you both and he's like, you guys get out of here before I explode.
You look so angry at me right now. Okay. So I think I give him a nod and go, okay, well, we'll see you later on then.
Okay, so you're going to head out the back?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and if there's something you want to do outside during the day, then say the word. But if you want to skip to 7 or 8 when the sun's setting, we can skip to then.
Might go sightseeing, go see the giant while we're here.
Yeah? You going to go up to the giant?
You don't look
Sure.
interested. You don't, but,
It's because he had chalky penis.
Okie doke.
If I wanted to see a chalky white penis, I'd pull your trousers down.
So, as you wander out of the back entrance of the building and out into the high street again, you can see a painted line on the ground that wasn't quite as visible during the night time. You weren't really paying much attention to the street markings, but this line is bright red, the same colour that with the neon sign and the dong was.
Yeah.
And it's got arrows on it that are headed out towards the edge of town, and you can see on the horizon just the very crest of the hill, not quite the giant itself from where you are, but you can see the hill that it's on and that this arrow is pointing in that direction.
Huh.
So, there's a nice convenient route for you to follow because it's clearly a tourist attraction. Are we following that?
Follow the arrows then, I think, Giles.
We skip.
Okie doke.
Well, I wouldn't go that far, but...
Merrily.
Giles attempts to skip with Silas.
I feel like Selas isn't really a skipper. In that he doesn't skip and he doesn't really captain a yacht.
So,
Stop the podcast.
from an observer's point of view, I like the idea that maybe Giles has linked arms with Silas and he's Chim Chim Charuin down the street.
Am I Prance?
I think you're Prance.
Maybe at this point you're heading...
Every story, there's one Prance, there's one Enade, and there's one Bork, and I feel like I'm halfway between all three, and you're leaning more towards the Prance side of things. But
sexy.
it's me, sexy Prance.
That's very nice.
Hey, I've got that charm person spell. We'll see what happens next time. So we've got Giles Chim Chim Chiruin hop skipping and like dancing down the road, and Silas next to him,
just kind of walking along, looking a little. Silas kind of is getting the feeling like because he knew Giles didn't really want to go, so he gets the feeling that Giles is maybe taking the piss, almost like let's go see the giant then. Why don't we skip? Go see the fucking giant.
You're not wrong.
So he's kind of like, he's a little bit put, but it's a local attraction. Why wouldn't we go see the giant? We've got the time to spare before your date with what was her name? Dasher.
She's fucking dashing as well.
So we're heading to the giant.
So following this line as it leads you out of the town, it takes you probably about 45 minutes to properly get away from the high street. It leads you through a very run-down suburban-looking area. There's hints that there are people living very mundane, dull lives here. There's no jobs, so they're all kind of eking out existences. There are kids playing in the street as you pass, and they give you very funny looks because of what's going on with the two of you. And they laugh and point and stare, and one of them shouts out, "Look at those weirdos!"
I'll just kind of look back at them and just sort of give them a bit of an odd look and keep walking without saying anything.
The kids are all pointing and laughing, and like there's a few of them that are running between other groups of kids, quickly like laughing and joking. They're clearly making up things about you, wondering what's going on. But with these two oddballs, that
Sailors doesn't really know how to deal with kids. Sort of thing.
I'm just going to pull a face at them.
Given that you're quite an imposing figure, a few of the kids are taken aback and run away, whereas the ones that were really taking the piss already are still pointing and laughing even harder because they know you're not going to do anything.
Which is fine.
So you pass through this residential area and you get to the foot of the hill. The giant is very clear now, but unlike the present day, the giant has an enormous fence around it, and there is a clear path leading up to it. And at the bottom of the hill, and where this fencing ends, is a gate. And at the gate is a man stood in a giant penis costume.
Huh.
And he sees you both approaching. And
what a dick.
he steps out. He's stood underneath a small shelter. And there's a collection box next to him. And he steps forwards and he goes, "Have we come to see the giant's giant?"
Yes.
Welcome, gentlemen. Would you like the full tour, or would you like to walk around by yourself?
I think I'll walk around by ourselves. I think I don't need to. I can look up any relevant information.
The guy tries to not look too disappointed, but at the same time, there's a certain amount of like, oh well, thank God I don't have to walk up that hill about him. And he goes, "Okay then, guys, that'll be 50 each."
50 each.
No.
Well, it's 50 or you don't come in. And he kind of taps on the fence. It makes a metallic clank noise. And there's a big lock on it. And he's clearly got the keys about his person somewhere. But you can make your choice on what you want to do next at this point.
You're quite welcome to go up. I'm not paying 50 fucking anything for this.
I'll take some photos and show you when I get back then.
Alright, I'm gonna fucking sit down.
Why don't you go start a fight with those children?
Don't beat up children.
Well, some of them looked like they're nearly teenagers.
I still don't beat up children.
Well, they're taller than you.
That's not that hard though, is it? Are you picking a fight?
No, I just
Right, then shut up and
you've been funny the whole way here.
The man in the penis costume looks at you both and he's like, is this some kind of domestic, guys? What's like...
At what point did you think it was a good fucking idea to get involved in this argument? Just because you look like a dick doesn't mean you have to fucking act like one, now does it?
Bloody hell, alright then, fine. And he kind of like...
Stop back talking
takes
and
a
fuck
step
off.
back and sort of leans against his perch under the chair and he goes, alright, you let me know if you want to go.
Yes, one please.
Alright, and he... you're handing him the cash?
Yeah, I hand him the cash.
Okay, so he takes the cash off of you, sticks it in his pocket. He pulls out a big wedge of keys, inexplicably large given there's only one thing in front of him. But for some reason he's got all of these. You don't know what they're all about.
The same key 100 times.
I like that idea. He
just
he
in
opens
case he
the door.
loses one of them. They're all on the same ring.
It makes sense in his head at least. So he pulls the gate back and he nods Silas through and keeps an eye fixed on Giles because he looks like the type that might try and make a run for it.
I'm just going to wander down the hill and just like find a tree to nap under or something.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Cool. Right. Well, in that case, you're going to head up the hill.
I am. Yeah.
And up there, it's the Cernabus giant. It's as it ever was. It's a fairly grassy field. Anybody that's listening to this that wants to have a look at it, look up Cernabus.
It's a real thing.
Cernabbas. Yeah, it's a real thing. I've driven past it numerous times in real life, which was the inspiration for this. So, yeah. You see Cernabus. What do you want to do?
I'm going to take some photos.
Any particular focus with these photographs?
They're tasteful. I'm going to take some wide shots to, get it in context. I'm going to do a weird one where I'm selfieing and kind of looking like it's in the background. So I'm kind of like, pulling a face like Selas isn't great at selfies, sort of thing. He never knows where to look.
I like it. It's like he's trying to pull a look of like, I'm casual about this, but he's very clearly not casual about it.
Yeah. So I take my photos and get a good look, and I'm sort of, well, that was rather entertaining. And then I come back down the hill.
Okay. Dickman meets you at the gate, and he pulls things back. He goes, "Oh, you got a good look at it then?
Oh yes.
Worth the 50?
Not even slightly.
That's the spirit, mate." And he taps you on the back with a big smile on his face, and kind of wipes some sweat from his forehead because the sun's now starting to get quite warm. It's
rather hot.
It's around midday, let's say, by the time you've kind of been up and down and all that. And yeah,
well, it looks rather hot in that costume.
Yeah, I'm sweating my balls off, mate.
Who makes you wear it?
Hey, makes me. This is my job. I make this costume myself.
Could you not have made it with some more ventilation then?
He kind of looks down at the thing and he's like, "Well, you ever seen a holy shaft?"
Well, once.
Less said about that, the better, I think.
Yeah.
Moving swiftly on from your holy penis story, because I'm not sure I want to hear that. You have a good day, mate. I'm just gonna stop talking now.
Well,
and he looks down. And he's got something in his hand, you can't quite make it out. It might be electronic. It's something he's paying attention to.
Well, okay. Have a good day pretending to be a dick.
All right. See ya.
Okay. Bye. I'm awkward. Like, I just walk away.
I get it. It's in character.
Yeah. And I'm sort of looking to see where Giles has gone.
Okay, so bottom of the hill. Yeah, you found a tree to lean against. You've been napping for a little while, like that whole zonk out thing that you described, like that kicked in clearly, and you've had a nice rest. In the meantime, though, and what you're woken by just before Silas kind of comes back, your phone starts buzzing off the hook, and the first message is a peach with a wave symbol next to it, then a plus. And then the aubergine eggplant 2 times, and then equals exploding hearts, and then the calendar symbol afterwards, and a thumbs up.
Cool.
The next message
It's on.
is the same again, but there's 2 peaches this time, and 2 waves, and 3 aubergines.
How many dicks does she think I have?
She doesn't know what you're packing, but
I'm
she's
only
got
a
lot of
man.
expectation.
I've only got 2 dicks.
But she's got 2 peaches, so I don't know what's going on here. This is Dash's way of communicating.
This is going to be a very interesting experience for you, I can tell.
So yeah, do you want to send anything back to that? That's what wakes you up. And as you're reading these, reading these as much as you can, interpreting these things, you can see Silas kind of just coming down to the bottom of the hill, and he's, I don't know, have you got a smile on your face? How are you looking after your trip up the hill?
I'm ambivalent. Like, I'm glad I saw it, but I'm not glad about the 50 quid rip-off and then the guy being a bit weird with me. So I'm just sort of...
Yeah, who expects the guy in a dick costume to be weird?
Well...
They're normally so level-headed.
It's more of a crown, but...
I'm going to text back with just the 2 aubergines, the 2 peaches, and a winky face.
Okay. You don't get an immediate response to that one. So we're going to skip time through to the evening. Let's say it's about 7 o'clock-ish. You've gone back to the Giant's Inn.
I do just want to say I showed Giles the photos that I took at the top. I'd be like, look what you missed.
Any reaction?
No.
Giles, impassive,
No.
walks back towards the pub, not caring. Back at the pub, Tommy is eating another packet of peanuts behind the bar. Barry has 4 peanuts in front of him, indication that there were more at one point, but not that many more. He's still got a pint. It's still inexplicably frothy, and you still can't tell whether or not he's drank a single sip of it in the entire time that you've been and gone.
Did we see any other food places in town as we were walking through?
There were a number of street vendors and vending machines outside.
Yeah, I wanted to have picked up something a bit more substantial than peanuts, I think.
Okay, so on the way back,
Snickers.
let's say that you headed down the high street, and on the way down the high street, in those alcoves and alleyways where during the true night time there were people potentially selling illicit goods, there are a couple of street vendors. One of them selling kind of like kebab, shawarma type stuff. There's another guy that's got some very dodgy looking hot dogs and
any elvish food.
Anything in particular you can think of?
I asked the question and immediately was like, what's elvish food?
Yeah, you gave me
Elvish
pause for
nuts.
thought there. I was like, I don't know any elvish.
It's definitely elvish nuts.
There's a guy selling elven bread,
Yeah, I'll grab a bit of elven bread.
and it's inexplicably fresh, even though it's been out in the open for a very long time.
It's like garlic bread but thinner.
Yeah. That costs you a nominal amount, like
I want garlic
5
bread now.
or something. So some amount where we're not really going to be bothered about.
Yeah,
that. At this point, I'm counting money for
I
nothing.
feel like sailors couldn't survive on just peanuts for the day.
Yeah, we'll survive on garlic bread instead.
There's vending machines and
Just like
stuff
I
along
do.
the roads as well. Did you want to have a look at anything else while you're out there before you come inside?
Well, what do we see?
Well, there's a couple of vending machines. You can't really see what's in them from the distance. They're a bit further down the road towards the pub from these street vendors that you're picking up stuff from. You're eating your elven bread as you're walking away from him. It's delicious and it's nutritious. It's in fact inexplicably good considering it came from the street. But being an elf and knowing elven bread, you knew that this was going to be a solid choice.
Yeah. I've got my diet and I stick to it. I am allergic to seafood, so...
So yeah, there's a bunch of vending machines in front of you, but otherwise you're looking at heading back to the pub.
Yeah. What's in the vending machines? Do I get a...
Okay, so if you want to head over to the vending machines and have a closer look at them. Inside the first vending machine that you come up to, it's just a standard kind of drinks vending machine. There's soy calf, there's a variety of other just sort of sports drinks, things that are there to sort of give the revelers a little bit of pep as they stagger home.
Yeah, I grab a soy calf from the machine.
Okay. Anything for you?
I'm a bit tired of Tommy's condescending look at my cranberry juice.
I grab a soda-based beverage.
Okie doke.
Sports drink, like
I ask for Coke and get Pepsi.
get super pumped.
You press a button for it's just marked soda and it's been written in pen. What comes out is something called crab soda. It's a red can and it's inexplicably fishy.
Glove gulash.
Damn you for recognising what's
Glove gulash.
Crab juice.
Just glove gulash. I drink my glove gulash.
It's crabby.
That's insane.
Given that he's allergic to seafood and seeing this can fall out, have you got
I
any
kind of
reaction?
turn my nose up at it and just like take a step back. And go, oh, keep it away from me. I don't want any of that.
I know.
Guess you guys won't be kissing later on or anything.
We never kiss.
He knows.
In the next vending machine along from you is the writing and text on the outside of the machine has very clearly an image of the Cernabas giant. And there are a selection of implements and toys and devices within this thing. Some of them are very clearly replicas of what the giant's got rocking. Other ones are of any shape, size, variety you can possibly think of. There are
this giant's
French
rocking-
ticklers and snozzwizzlers and God knows what else.
Snozzwizzlers.
Yeah, it's this kind of Willy Wonkerish kind of thing. I was
It's a
waiting
very
for
Willy
there.
Wonkerish kind of thing.
If this giant's rocking, don't come a knocking.
Snozzwangers and vicious knids. That's Willy Wonka. So yeah, that's what's inside of that one. And the very last vending machine that's next to this has got a picture of a woman that looks quite a lot like Vanda on it. And she's wearing a French maid's outfit. And it says, "The house mom's knickers." In strange kind of gothic cursive writing. As I said, she's wearing like a French maid's outfit and she's got a very faux like, ooh, kind of like holding her hand over her mouth like, oh, you caught me in a moment of indisposed like. I've got to go into detail with this horrible stuff. It's brilliant.
Funnily enough, knowing that I might have to break into somewhere later, I'd buy the knickers.
The knickers
They are known as a very good lockpick.
I want to wipe away fingerprints.
These are 25. So, yep, you want to chuck 25 in the machine,
sure.
get them out. A capsule falls out. You're cracking it open there and then?
Yeah, why not?
God, how far do I go?
You've already gone too far.
That's right.
We have to go back.
That's right. Come GM out.
No, we must go deeper. You crack these open, and thankfully they're very clean, very clearly brand new underpants.
Yeah.
And there's absolutely nothing like dodgy about them in the slightest. They're just very large is the main thing. They're bloomers. They're kind of like they're the type of pants that are so deeply unsexual that like they almost go all the way around the circle for some people, where they become sexy by virtue of not being sexy.
Only a pervert like Giles would find these sexy.
Does Giles react to these oversized pants? No reaction, Des.
No reaction.
I'm staying as far away from this as I can.
I kind of tucked them into a pouch on my belt for later.
Heading back to the pub then.
Yep.
Right, you enter through the door, soy calf in hand. Tommy takes notice of this. Goes, on the harder stuff, are we?
Oh yes, I get quite a buzz off of this.
You have a nice walk, guys. Where you been?
I went and saw the giant.
Oh, tourist stuff.
Well,
That's not what I hired you for.
well, while I'm here,
All right.
waiting for cover. Let us do our job.
Oh, all right then. I guess it's not my place to ask questions. You seem to be doing all right so far. So it's afternoon. You come in. You're going to hang out in the pub for the afternoon. I take it. Time's going to pass. We're going to do.
I'm going to be sort of surreptitiously checking stuff on the Matrix.
Okie doke. Anything in particular you're looking for?
Doing a bit of surfing, looking for local news.
In local news, it's mostly wanted ads and escort services that are in the local paper. It's not a paper anymore, it's a digital bulletin board, but it goes to show how little diversity there is in this town in terms of what's going on. It seems like there's a few people that are making money are doing so from selling themselves, and that the money they're making is probably not even going to their own pockets.
She was pretty popular though.
Yeah, so he says. Beyond that, there's talk on a bulletin board of local authorities and the general lack of them.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that any of the local thugs have pretty much bought out any sense of authority locally and have done for a long time.
Yeah.
So that there's just a general tone of hopelessness amongst the local people that are communicating through pseudonyms and mostly trying to make sure that they're getting their woes out but not incriminating themselves. And that's what's on there.
Okay. I want to just illegally download some music while I'm doing it as well.
Are you going to use LimeWire?
You're doing this in Tommy's Connection.
Yeah, why not?
Okay. Yeah. Well, you're welcome to. In fairness, I was going to treat it like, now your guy's savvy enough that you could do it without being caught.
I use a proxy.
Yeah, you use a proxy or whatever the equivalency at this point is. There's a sock puppet. There's a drone in the network. You're using that. It's fine. You've got your music.
I'm bouncing it off of a vending machine in Taiwan.
You took note of the vending machine that you bought the panties from, and it's
Looked up a serial number and found out where there was a relevant one and bounced my signal off of that. So that the authorities are really going to crack down on whoever's selling panties in Taiwan.
Cool.
I know my shit when it comes to illegally downloading music in country pubs.
Good stuff. Giles doing anything in the meantime?
So niche. Push-ups.
Push-ups.
Always push-ups.
Lots of push-ups. Okie doke. You have gained 1 gains.
Gains.
Excellent.
Good.
Okay, so one of you surfs the internet and the other one of you does push-ups for about 5 hours until 7 o'clock.
Hench.
Yeah, told you got gains. So it gets around to about 7 o'clock again. Your phone buzzes, Giles, and it's got this time it's just the calendar symbol, and it's from Dasher, of course.
Yeah, I'm just going to reply with 9 o'clock, winky face.
You'd better start getting ready. Yeah, you want to look good for your date.
I look in the mirror. I already look good.
Well, okay.
You fell for me, didn't you?
Well, no, it was more sort of... Okay. I get the feeling like we're not a couple.
No,
We're
friends with benefits.
He's just winding
It
him up.
was just like
endlessly.
there was a night of like heavy drinking and some passion.
I feel like we've done it a couple times.
yeah, oh yeah, but like
Like we're kind of like the fullback. It's one of those things where like if I go out and I'm unusually unlucky, I just come back and we do stuff. But you're fine with it because you're like, I mean, getting tucked in by old women. So
I feel like that wasn't my choice.
I feel like it was. Feel like it was.
A little from column A, a little from column B.
That was. I thought it was a clever ploy to get information, but no, you're. I still haven't told you what happened.
No.
So you think I?
And I haven't even asked because I just
Yeah.
don't care.
Okay. So yeah.
So you've sent her back. Sorry, the 9 o'clock. Your phone rings again. It's the peach symbol, the wave symbol, and a clock next to it, and that's all you get.
Wonderful.
Okay. Right. So you're gonna head downstairs. I take it. Yep. Tommy sees you come downstairs again. He's in. It's exactly the same situation. It really doesn't seem like that much changes around here day to day. Seeing you come downstairs at about the same time you did yesterday, Tommy takes note and shouts towards you. Oh, about that time of day again, guys.
Oh yes. Off for another night of entertainment.
Don't have too much fun, and the clock's ticking. I told you.
You don't really get metaphors, do you, Tommy?
No.
I don't think it really gets anything.
Here's one for you, Tommy.
Oh my fucking god!
Tommy, like, he's gone from being slightly frustrated at being told that he doesn't get anything, whilst thinking to himself, I got those jokes, and now you're going to tell him one, is that he's lit back up again and he's moved away from Barry, back to that other end of the bar, the joke-telling area, let's say.
I like the fact that your jokes are either so good or so bad that you literally nearly killed a man with them.
That's what happens when you Google bad jokes.
So we head down to the other end of the bar, and,
okay,
he leans over and gets real close with a big smile on his face. He's ready to laugh.
Okay, Tommy, here we go. You ready?
I think so.
3 fish are in a tank. One of them turns to the others and says, "How do you drive this thing?"
Look like a fish tank. Driving a tank like a fish tank. Oh, that's fucking hilarious.
Yes, well.
And Tommy actually starts crying over this one and sort of like falls over the bar a little bit. Oh my god, I've laughed like this in so long.
See? This is what you're paying for. Full service. Now, we'll see you later.
And he sort of looks up to Giles with tears in his eyes. How do you get by with this guy cracking wise like this all day? You must be in tears all the time.
Just gonna stare at him.
Tommy seeing your kind of like sour expression, he just laughs even. Oh my god, you don't find it funny. Oh my god, can you not find it funny? And he's just falling over himself as you guys make your way out of the back door. So
It keeps him happy, keeps him off our back.
into the night we go. We headed straight to the club.
See me in the club.
Well, you're meeting Dasher
At the front of the
at
club.
the front of the club.
Yes. Which will basically distract everyone.
I'm gonna be sneaking round to the back to that hole in the hedge that we made, and I'm gonna be trying to sneak through, like, cut maybe just surreptitiously.
Yeah, we'll call it a chain link fence.
Yeah,
Have you got any equipment or anything on your character right now that can get you through that?
I got a knife.
A knife for a chain link fence.
I've got some goggles, but they
There are
do
a couple of
nothing.
locations that are on that high street that I've not really alluded to, that
Yeah.
I've genuinely written down on my sheet, so I'm not just picking this up off the fly, listeners. This isn't just me finding a solution.
He's running wild.
There is a hardware store on the high street.
Yeah, I want to buy some secateurs.
Secateurs for fence? Still? Pliers?
Wire
maybe?
cutters. I
Wire
don't know.
cutters? I'm thinking something a bit strong.
Fence removers.
I want to buy a.
Secateurs will get you through the brambles for some more, but
I want to buy a burglary kit.
basically.
So yeah, just some wire cutters.
Yeah. Okay, so as you've both headed down the high street, you realise that you need to get some sort of tool to get you through this fence, and you noted one of the few businesses that's still operating is some sort of hardware store. Places there's still building work occurring nearby. There's still enough people just to require upkeep of things. So this place is just about getting by, and you can see a variety of tools and what have you inside.
Yeah.
Heading inside, you can see that there's quite a nice pair of bolt cutters that will likely do the job for you. They cost 70. I'm assuming that's just a yes. I'm ascribing arbitrary pricing to a great deal.
I'm running through my money, but I'm keeping in the back of my head of like, well, I'm going to get this money back when we complete the job.
These are sunk costs, really.
Yeah.
So you've got
we're past the point of no return. I'm into the sunk cost fallacy. I want at the end of it, I want a multi-role aircraft that can take off from that isn't a waste of billions upon billions upon billions.
Political. So you've got your bolt cutters, and we're going to head back out. Did you keep on going, or did you stick with him? Are you still together?
I've got a date.
Yeah, he's got a
you
date.
kept going. Okay,
I just said like, okay, well, I'll meet you later on.
This is very much I trust him.
Yeah, he's the distraction.
So we're into vignette territory with Silas right now. So you've got your bolt cutters. You're going to head down the road towards the Dines Inn, turning off before you get to the car park, so that it's a little bit inexplicable.
Yeah, I don't want to be.
You don't want to be seen
front.
to be approaching and then quickly making a beeline for the side.
Yeah,
Just
that's a bit obvious.
You make your way into the bushes and what have you. The sun's just setting. It's really just starting to get to be properly dark now.
Yeah.
And you find the spot. It takes you a little while to kind of not crawl through, but find your way through all the bushes and what have you again. And you can eventually find the spot that's being cut through. And you get a glimpse through to the back of the building. It being a little earlier in the night than the first time you came here, the back door that you assumed was for stock is open, and you can see that inside of that area are a few barrels. There's wires and cables and things, and pipes connecting things. Clearly this is where the alcohol is stored and pumped through to the bar from. The steam vent is pumping quite a lot more than it was previously. There's an indication that whatever that's connected to is in high operation right now. And the office, which you could kind of see the outline of the table and workstation in before, is now well illuminated enough that you can definitely see that it is a workstation 100%, and that there is no indication that this is connected to anything. This is a tabletop workstation. It is an individual base unit. There is no cabling coming off of it in any direction. It's clearly a standalone thing.
Do I see any security cameras that would catch me?
There are no cameras pointed at this part of the building.
Good.
It's assumed,
exactly
based on the ones pointed at the front and the fact that there's no pathway aside from potentially this one that drops out of sight.
Yeah.
There's no way of getting back here without being on camera already.
Okay. I want to just sort of stealthily kind of go up to the side, like, and kind of be up against the wall to the side of the goods inn. Mm-hmm. Do I see anybody? Like, is there any sign of life?
So we've cut through the fence already.
Okay. Do you need me to roll for that at all or anything?
No, I'm going to assume like these are good bolt cutters. As much as your guy's not a physically adept.
I just dropped 70. Got new yen on it.
Yeah, exactly. This is a tool that does the job. You knew you were buying something that was definitely going to get through that fence.
Yeah.
You'd seen the quality of it yesterday, so you knew what you were buying. So you're through the fence. You quickly sidle up to the side of the building. Sorry, where did you want to look at exactly?
I just kind of took, cause if I'm getting in, presumably I'll have to go in through the entranceway. So I'm sort of going to the side of the entranceway and just kind of checking to see if there's anybody there.
Okay. You glance your head around the corner, and you can see the back of what you assume to be an employee's head. It's a guy with a clipboard. He's checking stock and ticking things off. He's not particularly well built. He doesn't look like he's a fighter of any particular sort. That perhaps he's a kind of delivery guy that's perhaps finishing off a delivery, that kind of deal.
Right.
It's hard to tell what his role might be, aside from he's dealing with the stock.
I don't recognise him though. No. Okay.
He wasn't present in the club when you were there yesterday.
Right. Well, I'm not really much of a fighter either.
Well, as he goes about his work, he's moving between the different barrels and kegs, checking dials and measurements, jotting it down on his clipboard.
Right.
If you stay where you are right now, should he turn towards the door, he's going to see you immediately.
Okay.
It looks, there's a row of barrels, and he's about halfway down them. It's going to take him maybe another 10 minutes at a push, if he keeps at the pace he's going, to get to the end of that, and then perhaps he'll turn back.
Okay. Is there a sort of past sort of in? Is there a way that is there like a doorway or anything that looks like it'd be heading towards that office?
The corridor full of stock. It leads down, barrels lining both sides, left and right. Other stock stacked up on shelves above it. At the end of that is a door. It's not quite clear where that leads to.
Okay. Would I be able to sneak past him to get to that door?
No, this is quite a tight corridor. It's probably about a metre across. There's enough space for him to be stood there checking these things and for them to bring the barrels in and out, but that's like most stock rooms. This is kind
no
of...
way to get past him without knowing. Okay, I'm going to discount that for now then.
Okay.
Because I don't, stealth being the name of the game. The window to the office, does it appear to be openable from the outside, or...?
At the top of the window, it's kind of future double glazing.
Okay, I wondered whether it was on like a hinge and it's just happened to be closed, or whether it's like...
What's that? 4 uses of...
Quadruple glazing.
I thought you were alluding to, like, that's 4 times you've just put future in front of something.
No, that would have been a funny thing to keep hold of, though.
I think I've done it twice.
It's future cling film.
So it's there is a way of opening the top of the window, but it's clearly like it's locked from the inside, and it's some sort of electronic mechanical lock that is only openable from that inside.
Right. Okay. So call that a no then. Okay. I'm filing both of these things away as like I'm gonna have to cause a ruckus to get in any of these ways.
Potentially.
Yeah. Okay, well, while I'm still, undetected, I want to head down that pathway to see where it went.
Okay. So, creeping past the door, because that's the direction that this is in, you sneak past, the guy doesn't take any notice, he's absorbed in what he's doing. He's stepping onto the next barrel, another 5 minutes maybe, and he's going to be done.
Yeah.
You keep going, and you see the path in front of you as it's dropping off, where you could see previously in the day before the darkness fell quite deeply as the path dropped off, whereas you've got just enough sunlight now to see that this leads down a slope and into a tunnel.
Okay.
And that this tunnel is lit, but you can't because of the angle you stood at. Do you want to keep going? Do you want to go into the tunnel?
Yeah, at the very least get to the point where I can see into it.
Okay, so you're going to go down the slope of the hill. You can see down through the tunnel. Very clearly this is where the stock travels through. There are no vehicles that can get to the back of the building. It's not a very long tunnel. It's probably about 20 metres, if that. And it's literally just a straight line. It comes up at the other end. There's a slope that comes up and leads out into... do you want to go all the way along it, or are you just going to see...
From context clues, could I put together that maybe that just comes out onto the street? Or does it...
Well, you're not 100% certain. You didn't see where it actually led out when you made your way around the building.
Right.
In fact, I should make it longer on that basis. So it's about 200 metres long.
Okay, that's pretty long then. Okay, that might be... Yeah, I want to head along it then.
Okay. So you're heading along this
That seems like an odd solution for just getting round to the back of a building, rather than just having a more convenient way.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So you head along the tunnel, and at the end you find yourself in a fenced-in area.
Okay.
There is a gate to one side of it. These are not chain link fences. These are opaque, solid sheet metal.
Right.
It completely encloses the area. They're tall enough that nobody could simply hop up and get a look into what's going on in this place. There's large gates, and inside of this spot is a parked armoured vehicle.
Oh wow.
And to the side of this, as you just come up the crest of the hill, you start hearing voices as you approach, and a man in a white suit is stood next to the van.
Okay, I want to duck into any shadow, just to...
Okay. What little shadow there is, considering this is just a long, well-lit tunnel...
Yeah.
You're going to have to step out of the tunnel a little bit, and there's going to be, let's say there's a edge of a wall. You're coming up the tunnel, there's going to be a little edge of a wall hanging out, and you can lean against that and kind of glance out. You're not getting a very good look at this, but you can hear what's happening at least.
I want to do that, because I feel like if I'm in the tunnel, if anybody looks down it, I'm completely in the open.
Okay, so what you can hear as you approach is a German accented man speaking, presumably the man in the white suit.
Well, I remember the white suit from what the barman...
Bert.
Bert, yeah, from what Bert had said to us. Was it him or was it Vander?
I think they both mentioned the white suit. I'm not.
Well, I remember. Yeah, I remember.
Tommy mentioned the white suit, but
Yeah.
just said that he was dressed better.
Yeah. Oh, I remember him having a white suit and it putting it two together. This is Dieter.
Okay. So you can hear him talking to. There are two other men with him. Nobody that you recognise again. People that weren't from the club. Okay, boys, this is what I want you to do. I need you to take the van out into the town, and I need you to go and collect this girl. Her name is Bonnie. I have her debt. I own it, and you are bringing her back to the club. And we're gonna have a good time tonight. The boys kind of go, yeah, that's right, boss. You always treat us right. Yes, boys, I do. Off you go. They hop into the van, and Dieter turns towards the tunnel and starts walking.
Okay. Is he going to see me if I don't move?
If you don't move right now,
Okay, I won't move right now.
you're not going to move.
No, I want to move.
Okay. Right, I want you. Let's see, what's a relevant stat for this? Okay. I'm going to give you a agility check against his intuition.
Okay. I have 3 agility.
So you've got 3, and his intuition is. Dieter has 4 intuition.
I'm sure this will all go fine.
He's quite a sharp man. So, roll 4 dice.
Well, that's 2 1s and a 3.
Ooh, 2 1s and a 3.
Yeah.
You just glitched. You got more ones.
You rolled like a shit ton.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
In your effort to quickly move out from behind the wall, you trip over your own feet and fall hard onto your knees.
Oh, bollocks.
Just as Dieter approaches.
What the hell is this? Who the hell are you?
I got lost on the... It's my first day.
Behind Dieter, the door, the gate to the location is just closing as the van pulls away. Dieter spins around, shouting, Boys, stop!
He's not buying this. I pull out my pistol and just shoot him.
Okay. Nice. See, okay. So
Back in the game.
I can maybe shoot 1 guy. I can't shoot 4 guys. Okay, that's going to do it for this episode. Our next episode, the final part of this Shadowrun storyline, will be available as usual in 2 weeks' time on Thursday, the 11th of October. In the meantime, you can get in contact with us on Twitter and Facebook, both of which we are at PretendWithDice. You can also email us at pretendingwithdice@outlook.com. If you're an iTunes user, it'd be really great if you could leave us a rating and review. It all helps us to find new listeners, and we'd just really love to hear what you all think of the podcast. So for now, that's our show. I hope you all enjoyed it. We'll see you next time.